in danger of having to eat a slice of humble pie where Danny Rowe's concerned. I did say right at the start, when, before his appointment was confirmed, that I was struggling to see what he had in his CV, which justified him being a contender for a role of that size, at a club of that size. He's done a terrific job. And I don't think anybody should be getting too carried away because he scored 8 goals against the team bottom of the championship. But that all said, Dan, I look at the progress that this side has made in this. Well, I was going to say a year, but it's not been a year since Danny Rowe went in. And I looked. So if your judging point is the Philip Clement side, which got popped out of the cup this point last year, and you look how what state Rangers are in now, and it's funny because I saw some people saying, "Oh, Philip Clement's doing well at Norwich. They should never let him go." These people have forgotten Queen's Park last year. It was absolutely necessary that Rangers made changes. They made the wrong changes. But Danny Rowe, the job that he's done in a short space of time is pretty remarkable. And, having said that, you've got to remember the context here, and the context is it was Queen's Park they were playing today. I think if you look at the changes in personnel, the sort of massive uptick in the levels of quality in that first 11 now in around his squad, they're in good shape. They're in good shape, and that big Ryan Nadiri, again, it will need to be kept in the context of who they were up against today. But he looks as if he could be a real find, a real finder. I looked at Chukwueze in the middle of the pitch, excellent. Romans at left back looks excellent, but the big boy up front, Nadiri, what I like, Dan, what I'm impressed, and again, we'll see it, in bigger matches against better opposition. But he's got a lovely touch. He's got a great work ethic. He's prepared to drop in, to link up play. But his first thought, as soon as he's done that, is get myself into the penalty box, get in between the posts, get myself into a goal scoring opportunity. Rangers haven't had a striker like that when was the last one? Morelos. So he looks really dangerous, and he's a formidable guy, the kind of size of him, his physicality. Got a couple of goals today, a couple of very good headers, but it looks as if he's going to be a real handful. He is potentially a game changer in terms of what's left of this season for Rangers. They needed to shake it up. Danny Rowe identified that, and I do think that he's brought in a serious bit of quality. I go back to the fact, Daniel, that I said I felt Rangers needed one more addition in that final third to be real, strongly fancied in the run-in. They haven't managed to do that, but what they have done looks pretty impressive at this stage.
Do you know, you mentioned the first game against Queen's Park, which was a year ago tomorrow, and Swanee, look, that feels like a lifetime ago. That the Philip Clement game when Tavernier missed the penalty and one of the most embarrassing, humiliating defeats in Rangers history. That feels like decades ago. It's not even a year yet.
Yeah,
how much has changed?
Yeah, it's incredible. Even in the months from the other part of the season, when we were on here discussing the debacle that was at Russell Martin reign at Rangers, Danny Rowe, as Keith said, has done great. He's gone in. He's sort of steadied the ship, solidified things, made sure Rangers stopped giving silly goals away. Then they slowly built it up to the way they're trying to be more progressive through the pitch and attack and try and create and score goals. As Keith said, you've got to look at the levels. But we always say that a real buzzword in this show since we started it, when we're talking about various clubs, is recruitment. And it looks like Danny Rowe was trusted to get some players. The board have backed him. They've taken his word on who he wanted and who he liked, who he fancied, and the signs look reasonably good for Rangers. And my word, what a monumental week! If Rangers can this time next week, if Rangers have taken 6 points out of 6, they are really seriously title contenders.
I've been writing about that in my column for tomorrow, but almost like the flip side of that. And I've gone in the Hearts angle. If Hearts take 6 out of 6, what do we say about them then?
Oh, it's a monumental week. I mean, it's a massive week for. It's a massive week.
I just feel this is a potential to be almost a defining week.
Yeah.
Because Celtic have got 2 games coming up against the 2 teams at the bottom of the table. That's almost on the back burner while you're looking. Everybody's attention is going to be on the Edinburgh Derby, and then Hearts going to Ibrox.
Yeah.
But Celtic, if they want to be realistic, not contenders, if they want to kind of copper bottom their title defence, 6 points an absolute must. And the Kilmarnock game could be tricky, has the potential to be a tricky one. It always is at Rugby Park. Yeah. But Neil McCann's doing something there. He's getting a bounce. So that's a difficult one. But you would have to assume at this point Celtic take 6 and then they see where it leaves them. And then the real kind of intrigue is what happens when Hibs go to Tynecastle on Tuesday night and what happens when Hearts go to Ibrox on the Sunday. If one of these sides could take 6 points from those fixtures, then I think they come out of this period in the best shape. So yeah, I just feel this week that's coming has got all the makings of a sort of definitive week and where this mad season goes. Yeah. It's just absolutely mouthwatering.
Yeah.